Ras may be one of the strongest villains we've seen in Ninjago, but even he bows to someone far more terrifying. Hidden deep within the Cauldron of Realms lives a mysterious celestial being, an unnamed master, who trained Ras from his childhood, gave him his ambition to only use strength, and all plots to control the Source Dragons himself. This being is more powerful enough to teleport entire structures like the Shadow Dojo, and yet we still don't know his true identity. Today, we're uncovering everything we know about Ras's master and who he might be. I already made a video like this before, but now we will go even more in depth with new information. Ras's master is one of the biggest mysteries in Dragon's Rising. From what we know, this being found Ras when he was just a cub in the wilderness, raised him, and drilled into him the idea that strength is everything. They also showed him insane power, like teleporting Ras and a wolf clan, even entire structures like the Shadow Dojo, and they always communicate through this strange void of red and orange energy with a yellow light at the center. So who could they actually be? Let's go through the best theories. The Oni or Omega. The Oni can travel between realms. They even took over Ninjago and some other big realms in Season 10. The destructive nature of Ras's master and the weird void they pull him into line up with Oni powers. Even the distorted voice matches the way Omega sounded. This theory definitely fits. The Time Twins, probably the strongest theory. After Hands of Time, Crux and Ochronics were lost in a time stream. Never confirmed that. The sound effect when Ras's master speaks is almost identical to the sound of the Iron Doom. Plus their whole belief was that power and strength is everything. Exactly what Ras was taught. It still doesn't explain the transportation power Ras's master has, cause the Time Twins can't do that. The Overlord the most likely but also the least exciting. We've seen the Overlord appearing pulling villains into strange voids before. He's immortal, manipulative, and powerful enough to back Ras. But a lot of fans feel tired of him at this point, and his philosophy was always just be evil, and not strength above all. It doesn't line up perfectly what Ras was taught. Of course, it could always be a brand new character, but in Ninjago, when someone's identity is kept secret, it's usually a big deal or reveal. That's why the Time Twins or the Oni feel the most likely, but it can still be a brand new character. Before we even decide who Ras's master might be, we need to look at what they can actually do, because their powers are a completely different level than anything we've seen before. First off, they can manifest themselves as a glowing form, not physically there, but enough to make their presence felt. This isn't just a vision or an echo, it's something we saw before with the Overlord, which already tells us they're operating on a cosmic scale. Second, they use telepathy. Instead of showing up in person, they summon Ras into the strange void, where they communicate directly into his mind. That's huge, because we've only ever seen powers like this with beings tied to realm spirits or higher planes of existence, not just your average villain. And finally, the most insane ability, teleportation. We're not just talking about moving one person around. Ras's master can teleport entire groups and even whole structures, like the Shadow Dojo, instantly without even being physically present. That's beyond elemental power, that's reality wrapping. So what does this all mean? Whoever Ras's master is, they're not just powerful, they're operating on a god tier realm shaping level, and that narrows down our suspect list a lot. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Whenever Ras communicates with his master, his eyes glow and he levitates as he pulled into that strange void. And this isn't random. It mirrors exactly what happens to Lloyd in Beyond the Phantasm Cave, when the Source Dragon pulls him into their void. In both cases, they're spiritually present, but their bodies are still floating outside with glowing eyes. That connection to the Source Dragons is way too strong to ignore. And if you haven't noticed, Ras Master isn't the first mysterious identity Ninjago has kept secret. In fact, they're the 8th major hidden villain. First was Pythor as a stranger, then Crux as Dr. Saunders, Harumi as a Quiet One, Sane as the Ice Emperor, Yunagami being Prime Empire itself, Vangelis as a Skull Sorcerer, and the Overlord as a Crystal King, and now Ras Master. Every single time it's been a huge reveal, which tells us this is building towards something massive. We also know a few things straight from the writers. The Quiet even joked once that Ras Master is Lobo's mom. Obviously not true, but it shows how secretive they're being. When asked if the Master picked Ras for his potential, Wyatt said, sorta yes, but it's a bit more complicated. And when asked about whether this being existed before time had a name, he straight up refused to answer. Oh, and here's the big one. The Netflix subtitles actually labels Ras Master as a Celestial, which makes sense, because the golden coloring, the semi-passive guidance, and the way they appear all draw clear parallels to someone as powerful as the first Pinjitsu Master and even the Source Dragons. Wu guides the ninja, Ras Master guides Ras and Wolf Clan, two opposite forces with eerily similar methods. And maybe the wildest detail yet, Ras Master told him that Wu was the one who caused the merge. Whether that's true or just manipulation, Wu still said that he caused the merge. So all of this points to Ras Master being more than just a hidden villain. They're tied directly into the fabric of Ninjago's history, the merge, and maybe even existence before time itself. Some new alleged leaks gives us big clues about Ras' mysterious master. According to these hints, the master is a Dragon's Rising character, male, already appeared in a Lego set, a villain with strong motivation, and mostly important, he already showed up in season 2 of Dragon's Rising. That instantly narrowed things down. Two main theories stand out. The Source Ring of Strength. Ras is obsessed with strength. It's his entire identity. The Strength Dragon symbol is tied directly to him, which makes this theory really convincing. And Sarkar, an ancestor of Ras with proven elemental power. Some think he could be the master. Others believe his story is more about being a past life master and not Ras' current leader. Right now, the Source Ring of Strength fits the best, but it could also be too obvious. Lego loves their surprises, so nothing is confirmed just yet. There's also been some speculation that Ras' master could be connected to the Gong of Shattering. Some fans point this as a potential link, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. The Gong of Shattering is more tied to the Forbidden Five, who had their own plans. They actually betrayed Ras, even though they were aware he worked for a powerful mysterious master. That conflict makes it hard to see them as directly controlling or guiding Ras. Their motivations were completely different. So while it's an interesting theory, it doesn't line up with what we know about the true influence behind Ras' rise to power. But beyond the popular theories, the mystery deepens with Ras' master true nature. This isn't just some regular villain. They're operating on a cosmic level. They can manifest as a glowing presence, summon Ras into a strange void to communicate telepathically, and even teleport entire groups or structures instantly. That level of power puts him in a completely different league than any other force we've ever seen in Ninjago. It also explains why Ras' master has been so secretive. Unlike other villains who act in the open, this being works behind the scenes, shaping events from a higher plane, and the appeals to Master Wu are uncanny. Wu guides the ninja while Ras' master guides Ras, both teaching their pupils through presence, influence, and subtle manipulation rather than brute force alone. All of this makes it clear, whoever Ras' master is, they're not just a hidden villain, they're tied to the merge, the Source Dragons, and possibly even the very origin of Ninjago history. That's why every fan theory, from the Oni and Omega to the Time Twins or even the Source Ring of Strength or any other villain, has to be considered carefully. This is a character whose identity could refine the balance of power across the entire world of Ninjago. And that's everything we know so far about Ras Master. Theories are flying, the mystery is deep, and one thing's for sure. This cosmic being is about to shake Ninjago to its core. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and who you think it really is. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Ninjago content. Thanks for watching.